run that shit up.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cincy Strikes podcast. We're on the episode 10, and it's time to stack or pack it up for our team. Coming off a huge win against the 49ers, much needed win. We gotta stack some wins here if we want to make the playoffs and win the division. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into the Bills Sunday Night Football preview. We're gonna talk about the Cincy Strikes Parlay, bringing that back this week. Week 8 NFL recap and the games of the week for Week 9. All right, let's go, baby.
Man, what a game, coming off the bye, right? I mean, answered that call.
We did. Burrow looks good.
We saw some from under center.
Yeah, under center looked good.
It's nice to see that.
It was nice to see T. Higgins back involved.
Everything looked good.
Play calling, we've kind of been asking all season on this podcast. We knew Burrow's been limited. So, obviously, the play calling is going to take a toll, mainly running from the gun and pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back to that, from under center, saw, a couple play action, the boots, do that dot when he got smoked by Fred Warner.
Yeah. When he had to break 2 sacks.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it's just when you see that, Burrow.
And that was on the first drive.
Yeah.
Making that crazy play. And extending it. That was on third down. If that doesn't happen, that we stall out the first drive and we punt.
Yeah, I mean, we look good from drive 1 to the last one. I think that was – and usually this team is a at one half team, either the first or second half. But, this was a complete game for the Bengals, in my opinion.
Oh, 100% complete game. Joe Mixon looked really good in the run game. Defense really looked good, I think. You look at the numbers, you'll see that Brock Purdy had a lot of passing yards. George Kittle had a lot of receiving yards.
Garbage time yards, though.
Those were garbage time yards. So, can't really use that against our defense. So, when people go back and look at the stats, had 2 100-yard receivers.
Red zone pick.
But watch that game. And the defense dominated the entire time.
Yeah, and he had a lot of checkdowns to McCaffrey, too.
Yeah.
A lot of short passes that kind of got taken further as well. But
I would say the O-line did look really good. And going into the game, I was a little worried. The 49ers have a great defense. I didn't know how they'd withstand. Volson, has had a rough – everybody's saying a little bit of a rough season. He looked good this game. The whole O-line, I would just say, looked
I would say that the O-line gets helped when Burrow is able to do the things that he did this week. When he's able to kind of, obviously shake sacks like that, kind of get out of the pocket more, that helps the offensive line tremendously when they're not just blocking for a statue.
Yeah.
They're kind of able to, hold a guy, see that Burrow's moving, don't have to block him the same way the whole time. It helps the O-line tremendously. And like you said, seeing him be able to do that, I think kind of motivates them as well. They want to block better for him. So
he was sacked, once or twice?
3 times.
3?
Yeah. He was sacked 3 times. But I think Kappa, Karras, and Volson all did really well this week. The interior looked really good, picking up on stunts and moving their guys and freeing up some run lanes for Burrow also on the QB draw and some scrambles.
He was initiating some of that contact.
Yeah. He's a football player first.
The whole time we're watching the game, I'm like, go down. You got the first, you're good.
He
go
wasn't,
down.
man.
Nope. He wanted to get hit. He wanted to get hit. It seemed like he got up. He's like, let's go.
He's a football player first, quarterback second,
yeah.
Which is nice but worrisome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the O-line played pretty good. I like to see them do better. Burrow doing better, too. The O-line gave up 4 pressures, 5 QB hits, and 3 sacks.
Yeah.
I mean, against the Niners defense,
I'll take
they
that.
played pretty good.
Yeah, the week before the Niners had 0 sacks against the Vikings, so I was worried they're going to come in and we're going to be a get right game and we're going to get crushed. But seeing us back to fully healthy with fully healthy Burrow and everything, T being healthy, offensive line clicking, it felt
so good.
It felt really. I mean, Niners are
in the defense, man.
Yeah.
Defense
Niners
really played their ass off.
17 points, 2 picks. I mean, that's lights out football.
Could have been 3 picks. Logan Wilson tipped one up.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were missing Ayuk and CMC. They had
Yeah.
CMC. So
I mean, they were missing guys. I'm not gonna. I mean, but it's the NFL. I mean,
there's a couple times where Ayuk got open, but was on a really good crossing route, and DJ Turner and Cam Taylor-Britt ran into each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just good play design by Shanahan on man defense. So, I mean, that happens. But
you had the takeaways. You had two interceptions. Should
Yeah,
be
both
could have been
linebackers.
3.
Yeah.
Because Mike Hilton could have also had one.
we had a strip sack.
Yep.
We sacked Brock Purdy a
DJ
couple
Hill
times.
with the recovery. He was
Trey
mic'd
Trey
up.
Hendrickson looked really good. I think the entire defensive line looked pretty good
Yeah,
in that game.
Lou's got them guys fired up, man. I think they know, like, if we can play at this level, like, there's a ring in the future.
Yeah, and what the sad part about that is with like our defense playing this well is with Lou probably getting a
Yeah.
head coaching job next year. That's the only,
Yeah,
downfall
lucky
of
team,
this.
whoever gets him.
Yeah. And Niners allow 2 sacks here, it says, but Brock Purdy, is kind of under duress kind of the entire game. You really watch it.
What do you guys kind of takeaways on him? I mean, last couple of weeks, when the pressure's really on him, when he's not have a lead.
After he lost his first game.
Well,
like,
when he doesn't have a
regular
lead, I'm not saying I'm done with him because obviously he still looks good. I mean, he's poised, this and that. But, in the big moments, like 49ers are still kind of like, you think they're sold on him?
Well, the Vikings game, I'll give him a pass on the late quarter stuff, like turnovers, and he did have a concussion at that point because he got hit earlier in the game, which they should
Yeah.
have pulled him. Same thing in the Bengals game. He took a pretty hard hit to the ground on a knockdown. I don't even think it was a sack. He got knocked down, and he hit his head pretty hard. They probably should have pulled him then, or the concussion guy probably should have pulled him to the side and look at him at least. Just because, looking at him last week, going in this week, it should have been looked at. Kind of like with the Tua situation, how the
Yeah.
week before he played us, and then Tupa,
Was really the
Tupa hit
injury.
him. Yeah.
I think we need to give some credit on the defensive side to a guy that we've been kind of dogging on a little bit this year, Mike Hilton.
Yeah.
He was graded the highest graded corner in Week 8 this week.
Yeah,
Which-
they're getting back to using him the best way that he needs to be used.
Which you didn't hear his name at all in the broadcast, which is really
Crazy.
good.
Oh, yeah.
When you don't hear a corner's name
Oh, yeah.
in a broadcast, you know they're playing good. Same as, like, you didn't hear Cam Taylor-Britt or DJ Turner get talked about. That's just because no one was really beating us,
Yeah.
beating the
A
corners.
lot of it, like Gary had said, it was like dump offs to CMC or kind of like getting Ayuk opened over the middle, and Kittle was a big guy that game. So I
Mhm.
think for a while it was a lot of just Kittle and CMC until they figured a way to get Ayuk involved.
Another guy that kind of, he fumbled, but Irv Smith looked a little bit better in the game. Had some catches, broke some tackles.
It looked like they were trying to get whoever was playing tight end. Obviously, it's Irv, but they were
Yeah.
looking to get the tight end involved.
Mhm.
So I think elevating Tanner is going to be. They're looking for that production there.
Yeah,
They're trying to get it.
bringing up Tanner Hudson is, I think, a move to show
That we need
Irv that we're not afraid to kind of put you to the side.
like limit his snaps.
Yeah.
Like, more.
Competition's good.
Like he'll
Yeah.
still get some playing time, but like he could get taken out for
I
half
mean,
the.
yeah, he's still. He's
pass
still tight
catching
end one
snaps.
right now.
and he will going, far into the season. He'll probably be. I don't know what we're gonna do next
I
year
think
for
we
tight
will see
end,
a
but
good mix though. I think it would be nice to see a good mix of Irv and Tanner Hudson,
I will probably see it
or maybe they'll run more 2 tight end sets.
with both. I
Yeah,
don't
not
know.
with
We
both
like
of
to
them,
run a lot
but-
of like receiver heavy sets with passing plays, but
And usually when we do 2 tight end sets, it's with like Drew Sample.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
Just so
that's
he's a
it.
blocking
Usually
tight
one
end.
would be
Play, yeah.
Sample,
T. Higgins had his best game since week 2, which was really nice.
Yeah, it was nice to see Higgins back involved off his injury.
Again, shout out to the play calling. Zach did a really good job on that Jamar Chase touchdown. They did a fake bubble screen to
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd, which we were kind of running the entire game with Jamar Chase, so they were kind of
Baiting
on
it
that, and then
biting.
we over the top the Chase,
That
which
was
was really
beautiful.
nice.
he had a
right
really
off
great
the
game.
pick,
hmm
right off the interception from Logan.
Yep, it was a really great way.
Like sequence.
That's how
That
it
was
should
like,
be.
That just reminded you of like the Bengals football we knew from like the end of last year and like the run we went on. It's like interception and big play to Jamar. I mean, it was like 25 or 30 yards that one. But
Oh yeah, I
still.
mean, it kind of like similar to last year when we beat the Titans and then went on a crazy run. Hopefully, beating the Niners this week and then get the Bills. Not another tough game. But
Bills are has a chance to be our statement game.
yeah, I mean, I think coming after this win, we're full systems go. So
there was no
Yeah.
like big injuries in the last game, not that I remember. So like going in pretty healthy.
Yeah,
Which is big until what,
Yeah.
week 9?
Possibility we get Charlie Jones back too.
Oh yeah, he
So-
was only in like the 4-week IR.
Yeah.
Did you guys think we would have brought anybody in, like to kind of beef it up before we made that run? Obviously, teams did, but did you guys kind of think we would?
Trade deadline wise, I typical Bengals fashion. I knew we wouldn't. I keep out hope every year, kind of hoping
I was
that
hoping maybe they could have maybe thought like, all right, Hayden was here just last year, like, but maybe go get him since they're on the Panthers. But he signed like a 3 years, so
Well, that's what I was talking to Eric about that. If we trade it for Hayden, have the Panthers pay his contract, or we restructure it, obviously, to a 1 or 2 year basis and kind of
Yeah.
more guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't really hit our cap all that much, especially when Burrow's new contract kicks in.
maybe they were out there in the market, and that's why. And they didn't.
Nah,
they,
I
they-
doubt it.
And they didn't end up wanting like.
I was
to
just
give up
curious,
anything.
like,
That's why they brought Tanner up.
like who could we have really went and got? I mean, Hayden they talked about, but like other than that, I mean, I know they said Hunter Henry,
Hunter Henry.
but like he didn't
Yeah.
go anywhere. So, I mean, just kind of, I don't really think the market might not have really been there either.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
I just was curious what you guys thought on it.
The only I could have saw them trading for tight end or maybe the RB2, but
Yeah, I thought maybe that too, but there was again. I mean, Zeke, Fournette. Other than that, there wasn't really.
yeah.
I mean, there wasn't really anybody else looking because I mean we weren't gonna go get Derrick Henry.
Oh, not at
Oh,
all.
No.
You know what I
The
mean?
Definitely
Like,
not
Ravens-
gonna
the Ravens
make a
thing.
blockbuster
you know,
trade.
and that's what I mean. Like we were looking for depth,
yeah,
and it just really wasn't there this trade
The
deadline.
Bengals really value their picks. They don't want to give up any of them.
Which I don't
Which I
blame them.
understand. You get them cheap. You get them for 4 years.
What do you guys think about? I mean, talking about the Niners, Chase Young trade.
they get better.
They
Good
do
thing
get
we already
better.
played them.
Yeah.
I just don't.
They
get it.
still
I
they still
mean,
play
Are the,
Steelers and Ravens.
are the
so-
Niners or not the Niners? Are the Commanders going rebuild then? Like,
Yeah, they're going to rebuild.
but I mean, they kind of already have like their quarterback. It's just weird over there. It's just weird.
Well, I mean, Chase wasn't really playing for him anyways. He's been hurt.
I mean, he has 5 sacks this year. I mean,
And that's
So far.
so far. It's going to help out the. Well, I mean, he's going to be like what rotation with the Niners.
he'll,
The
he'll
problem
be,
the
he'll
problem
be
with
first guy up.
the 49ers, their defensive line hasn't been what they thought it was going to be this year. Their front seven hasn't been what people thought.
The pressures are there, just the sacks aren't.
It's not the pressure's not even there. Looking at the stats, it's because they were talking about Steve Wilkes.
Yeah,
He's a,
it's probably like a different type of scheme or something.
because
with Wilkes.
beforehand they had D'Amico Ryans, linebacker, Robert Salah, linebacker. Now they got Steve Wilkes, defensive back. So now he thinks more coverage
yeah,
and less pressure. It's where those previous two defense
a lot
coordinators
more pressure,
were pressure.
and a lot more man.
A lot more man. So that's what they're kind of talking about on like First Take and all that is they have a Steve Wilkes problem, which I can see. I mean, you look at how D'Amico Ryans and how Robert Salah ran that defense.
Pressure.
It was all
Load
pressure.
the box.
Yeah, their front seven was on. I mean,
And
they're
that's what our thought was going into the game. I mean, they still got 3 sacks.
And
but
now they're built for it. I mean,
Yeah.
you have Bosa and Chase Young, who were probably, I mean, that's
Armstead.
athletes alone. Dre Jackson.
yeah they have a stacked front seven.
Fonga and like all them. I mean, he's
They're
not
loaded, man.
front
Their
seven,
that
but-
defense just talent. I mean, top to bottom is top in the league.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
And I mean, getting into the Bill Sunday night preview, talking about like pressure. Von Miller's back.
Yep.
He was he limited against the Buccaneers last Thursday? Because you didn't really see his name a whole lot. I think he was
He's
more.
been playing. Vaughn's
Has he been playing?
Yeah, Vaughn's been back for like 3 or 4 weeks.
I don't even know about that.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Vaughn's been back.
Well, it's just the Bills. The Bills, they don't.
Just all the rest of their big names have been getting hurt, so
Yeah.
like everybody's just double teaming Vaughn now, and it's just
Yeah, it's like they're. I kind of feel bad for Bills fans
Yeah, 'cause
because they just
every
Dude,
big player
they almost
on the
choked
team.
away that game last week.
it was close.
I mean, honestly, Godwin had that Hail Mary.
Yeah, if he would have just looked up.
If he would have been able to find the ball, I mean, it's a hard play, but
Yeah,
if he would have been able to find the ball, dude, that game, they beat him.
yeah, because they're only down by 6.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But like, it has to be tough to be a Bills fan because every year you get hit with like Bills and Ravens fans both suck because you get hit with the injury bug every
Every year.
year.
Yeah, Vaughn's been back since the game in London when they Buffalo played in London like 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago.
And you haven't heard his name really
Yeah,
since.
That's what I'm saying. And they paid him 6-year contract.
Well, I mean that's not on
I
him.
mean,
It's just because
he's been producing.
they lost.
when he's been in.
They've lost 2 corners, right, and a safety.
Yeah, they lost Trey White. They lost Matt Milano.
Oh yeah, Matt Milano.
They
It's a
lost
huge
their
part
D
of their
tackle.
defense.
I think they lost their D tackle. No, Ed Oliver is still healthy. They lost somebody else, but I don't remember right now. But like 3 or 4 key defenders, yes.
And they traded for Rasul Douglas,
Because I don't think
which isn't
Poyer or Hyde is hurt. I think they're both healthy. Because that's the safety.
They've been
You said
banged up
safety.
though, but I think they're both playing now.
yeah, they're both playing, but they have the weak secondary. They just traded for Rasul Douglas, who's not that good.
He's just older. I mean,
He's just like they have Josh Norman playing corner over Kair Elam, which is
That's what I said last
kinda
year.
wild.
That's what I was saying in our chat. Like last year, Elon was like.
me and
saying
we
he
were
was
all
having a good
we
year.
were all fans of
Yeah, and we were like,
Elam.
Elon,
we
we
wanted the
wish we
Bengals to
would've
draft
Yeah, we
Elam.
were like, we wish Elon would have got drafted. He's looking good in Buffalo, and then
Yeah.
this year he's just been healthy scratch.
that's the life of a corner though.
Yeah. It's either you're there or you're not. So
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Bills' secondary is kind of weaker. I mean, Baker, when he got it going, started to connect against them. Burrow looking like he did against the Niners. I think the Bengals are going to be looking to throw the ball on the Bills, especially early. I think it could be a huge game for Burrow again, and I think he could start stacking those big games.
yeah, that's why I'm titling this stacker pack
Yeah.
because it's you either stack these wins right here
Or
or you pack it up for next year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts that we have to go on a run here, and we have to get statement wins to show
Oh yeah.
that we're back.
I mean, we just looked at the AFC playoff bracket. We play 7 of
We play everybody but Miami that's in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
So there's 7.
The solid thing is the Bills, the Chiefs, and like the Jets.
Sure, I mean, they're all beatable.
They're all beatable right now.
Steelers and
It-
Ravens are all in right now.
It seems like every team right now is vulnerable.
Dude, I mean, the NFL right this year,
It's just
especially
like-
this year. Like last year was too, but you still had Eagles looked a lot better. Niners looked
Eagles
a lot
were
better.
so dominant last
Yeah,
year.
know what I
Niners
mean?
were
You
dominant.
could not beat the Chiefs
Especially
to
once
save
they
your
got-
life last year.
Like I think this year it's kind of like a level playing field. I think if whoever gets
It's
in the
anybody's
playoffs,
game.
whoever
Yeah.
gets in the playoffs,
Whoever
it's,
shows up.
it's anybody's Super Bowl. So
Whoever
And,
shows up.
you look at the Dolphins, you're like, okay, last year
You look
they
at the
started
li-
off great run, we beat them. They
you
slumped.
look at the
That's what I
Lions. They get smacked by Baltimore. They come out, look kind of crappy. They end up winning.
The Lions were on
6-2.
Lions were on a huge run too, like beating teams
Yeah.
by scoring a lot of points,
the
come out
Niners-
do nothing.
The Niners, they're 5-0. Man, are they going 17-0? They lose 3
Yeah.
in a row.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Eagles, they look great. Almost lose to the Commanders. End up winning that game.
We
It's
start
just
we start off the year 1-3. We're automatically counted out. And that's
Yep.
because of injuries. Well, injury to Burrow completely counted us out. And now look at him. We're back. We've won 3 in a row. So
Chiefs lost in Denver.
yeah,
Yeah,
Chiefs just lost
lost
in
in
Denver for
Denver.
the first time
Right.
since 2015.
Chiefs
Yeah.
fans will say Mahomes is sick.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
their defense was horrible.
Yeah.
That game
I
all
know.
around was kind of bad, but
Because the Chiefs just had didn't Bolton just get hurt? Somebody got hurt on their defense because I just
Bolton.
said that. Yeah, it
But-
was key part of their defense.
was he actually out, or was he just banged up?
I'm pretty sure he's out for like a bit.
I didn't know if he actually if he was hurt or just had an injury.
but yeah, this year's definitely it seems like it's anyone's game.
Which is exciting.
It makes it more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I just think, especially against the Bills, you just can't let Josh Allen kind of get in his rhythm of big runs and then getting out of the pocket and finding that deep bomb. Once he gets going on the ground, it's a long day for your defense, and I think we kind of are built to beat them just because we have those speedy linebackers. But it's like if he gets going, it's going to be a long day. No matter if we win or lose, it's just going to be a tough day stopping him.
He's out 2 months.
Bolton.
He'll be back probably a 3-game home stretch against the Raiders, Bengals, Chargers. So he'll be back, of course, against us.
You knew it.
And quick in our betting news, Giannis is at 16 points,
That's wild.
and Kent State is up 10.
Yeah, that's all right.
I already knew that. I was looking at it.
Ripping the chat.
Tough beats around here.
Yep.
only halftime.
Akron gets ball.
I mean, speaking of bets, we could talk about the Cincy
Cincy
Sharks
Sharks
parlay.
parlay.
I was
Where's
waiting
that
for the
money?
cash, man. The cash money.
It's down there.
It's all good. It's all good. Just
Wanna
imagine you hear a
press it?
It's a
ching.
D.
All right, I'll let Moochie talk about the first two. There it is, baby. We've kind of been on. I'm not gonna knock on wood. We just talked about it. Akron's kind of screwing us right now, but decent little run betting. So hopefully to keep it going with the Cincy Sharks parlay.
Yep. So we got 4 picks for you, 2 each. My first leg is Burrow. He's gonna stay hot and have a very nice game against Buffalo's hit or miss defense, over 270.5 passing yards. And then our defense is going to stay hot and getting turnovers, and Josh Allen is going to throw an interception.
I like those two lines. I think Burrow's definitely going to be throwing the ball, especially early, which kind of ties into what I'm thinking. Jamar Chase, anytime touchdown scorer. Last week, 10 receptions, 100 yards. He's top 7 in receiving yards.
Number 6 right now.
His touchdowns not as high as they usually are with him. He's, kind of been a big touchdown machine for us. He's at 4 right now. I think he starts to pile those up week by week. So taking him anytime touchdown scorer, and then Bengals, they are -1.5 in the spread. I'm taking a money line. I think they win by more than 1.5, but just playing it safe, taking a money line. That's the Cincy Stripes parlay.
Yep.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. So I think that's the parlay.
It's time to get into the Week 8 NFL recap. It really sucked to start off the kind of key headline. Kirk tore his Achilles. And that's kind of a blow
Dude,
because the
that
Vikings have
freaking
been on
sucks,
kind of a
man.
run.
And honestly, no disrespect to Josh Dobbs. He's looked good in Arizona. But why not get Winston?
I'd almost want Colt McCoy over
Or
Josh
Colt McCoy. Yeah,
Dobbs.
any of those guys.
Yeah,
Josh Dobbs
but
has
I
Arizona
agree,
at
they
what,
should-
1-6?
Yeah, they should have
mean,
got.
Dobbs showed that he can play football.
No,
He showed him that
yeah.
he can. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's good for him. It's
It's great for him.
Did they
did
say
the
if
best
he's
with his
going to come in and
opportunity.
immediately start, or is it going to
I'd
be?
assume
Are
so.
they giving Jaron Hall like this week because
My-
Dobbs might have to learn? The
My guess
system
would be they're probably going to say it's a competition. Probably like you said, because he probably doesn't know the offense quite yet.
Yeah.
But I would say they brought him in to start.
Well, who's their backup
It's
already?
Jaron Hall.
Hall.
He's a rookie from BYU. That's why I
It's
said
gonna
they
be-
give him like
Dobbs
this
is
week
gonna
and say
start.
Dobbs
Yeah,
is
they'll
like
definitely
learning the book.
But
or
Dobbs, I think, that's just my prediction. But, man, I just
Kirk,
man.
Does he return to Minnesota, or we've seen the last of him with Jay Jettas in Minnesota?
I think Kirk will not be a Viking after this year.
I don't think so.
I think this is it for
Trying
him.
to picture where I can see him going.
I like what we had talked about. Like
Maybe Vegas.
it's kind of like a perfect ending for both of them, like for both sides, just because like he really probably wasn't going to come back. They weren't probably wanting to really bring him
It gives
back.
them a good reason to not have to pay them as much as he was looking like he may have deserved this year because he was looking good. And if since he tore his Achilles, they're gonna be like, oh, we don't know if you're gonna be the same, and kind of use that excuse to get out of it.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
But then you look at Kirk and you're like, before that, dude, I was tearing it up. The defense is the reason they're not, 6-1
Yeah.
right now. Anyway, Kirk's look good.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think we might see Jaron Hall though.
You think so?
I
you
think
got to
so.
see. Why not see what you got? What'd they even give up for Dobbs?
I think like
I don't know,
late
something-
Nothing.
third day pick or something,
I've
probably
seen
like
something.
6th or 7th round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something late.
Nothing big, but
But then you have Will Levis.
dude, I
out
know
there.
what.
I love that.
He killed it.
Oh,
Yeah.
especially in those uniforms that they pulled out. Those
Oh,
uniforms
yeah.
were
Yeah.
sick.
D Hop loves him too.
Willies, Oh man.
D Hop went out.
Did he had 3, right?
Yeah, 3 tutties, bro. 150.
Yeah.
Man said he was on his Geno.
Those
Yeah,
uniforms,
on
those
his
uniforms
Geno.
are so clean though.
Best.
Super clean.
best throwbacks.
So nice.
Yeah,
Best throwbacks for sure.
but I think could Will Levis
Be actually the guy.
Be them,
I bet
him.
his ex was calling him back up.
she's with Morgan Wallen right now.
what a better defense to have your first start against.
Baby, last night
Pittsburgh.
you threw 4 touchdown passes
And now you're playing Pittsburgh.
on Thursday night football.
Well, hammer the under.
Was Minka out
Yeah, Minka's out for a bit. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
for a bit?
The lid's off.
I'm gonna verify.
Did you not see his injury?
Yeah.
He had a hamstring. I saw
Yeah, it was
that.
like non-contact. He just
Oh,
Yeah, I saw-
Those
yeah.
are always the worst too.
It's his hand. He probably sits next week. Well, this week.
Yeah, it's a short week, so
Yeah, but Will Levis, 19 for 29, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns.
And two pretty
2
big
bombs.
to do.
Bombs, dude.
I mean,
The
he-
one
He's
might have
not
been
playing
OPI,
tomorrow, at
but
least. He's not playing tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm trying
But,
to see how long.
if Will Levis comes out and dices up the Steelers, yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, because they have a really good
It's
defense.
a tough defense, man.
I'd love to see him do it.
I would love to see
Love
it.
to
No,
see him do it.
absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of great defensive games, how about that Jets and Giants matchup?
Great defense or
Or worse offense?
worse
It's
offense?
not, it's not
I
saying
mean,
how long he'll be out. It's
Saquon went
saying
off.
Much
Say
longer
Saquon had
than
like
that.
36 carries.
Yeah.
And their Tyrod Taylor had like 8 passing yards, and the other guy had like
Yeah, they had
negative
negative-
Yeah,
one.
-1.
Yeah, they netted -8 passing.
Yeah, they
yards.
negative because of the sacks.
Yeah. Never happened before in a game.
Crazy, dude. And
And it
they
was a
even went to
3-point
overtime.
game.
They went to
Yeah, that's what I was
overtime
saying,
and
it was a
still.
3-point game.
The
Yeah.
Jets are winning games, man.
Jets are winning.
Rodgers is coming
Okay, I thought they
back.
would have been better against the Giants, though.
I mean,
Giants have a
Have you watched-
sneaky defense.
have you watched Zach
like
Wilson
they
play this
show
year?
up or they don't show up?
Yeah.
Zach Wilson
Like they
is
showed
not
up
the
against
guy.
Washington.
Yeah,
And then this
Do you think he's the guy, Zach
Yeah.
Wilson?
No.
no.
I mean, he's had his chances.
Rodgers is going to be back in like 3 weeks.
I mean, Rodgers will be back next week.
It's
weird.
stepping back.
Yeah, I'll give it 3 weeks because like the week before was him walking, and then
It'll be
Now
like
he's
it was
throwing.
him throwing, and now he's like
It'll be a
doing
big-
Next week he's
little
gonna be in
bit
his
of
jersey.
dropbacks
He's
and-
gonna be in his jersey next week.
It'll be a big like Thanksgiving or Christmas game or like New Year's, and no one will hear about it, and he'll just like announce that he's coming back.
He's
himself.
gonna come back
I'm
with the American
back.
flag.
Yeah.
He's gonna come back out with the American flag, dude. What a super awesome opening just to have that.
Dude, if he comes back this season,
That would be insane.
I mean, what?
Hats off to him. That'd
Does
be
he win
crazy.
comeback player of the year automatically?
He sold his soul. I'm
Automatically.
telling you,
I mean,
would've-
he deserves it.
comeback player there
Yeah.
for this year.
That's what I'm
For
saying.
next year?
No, this year if he comes back this year. On a
He
torn
was injured
Achilles?
Week 1, 4 plays in, and he comes in and like let's say
It's
he
odd-
plays like 3 or 4 weeks, and he plays like a must-win game for the Jets, and they win that game.
It's crazy.
They like get in the playoffs.
Comeback player of the year, where you get injured the same year you come back, would be nuts.
That'd be crazy.
But we all know. I mean, deservingly so. I mean, I guess DeMar Hamlin, he's gonna get comeback player.
I
of
mean,
the
yeah,
year, without a doubt.
for him to ever even play again is insane.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
and we play them on Sunday night, so I mean, we're gonna see their whole. We're gonna have a big old thing for them. I'm presuming, which is probably gonna be nice
You guys excited? Like to
for
be at-
Sunday. Oh,
yeah, to
super
be- to be at the
excited!
game?
Super
You're
excited
gonna
for that.
stripe out the jungle.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's-
If you guys are there, make sure you go look at what section you are in and what color you have to wear. Section 106, wear orange.
What,
I
what,
know that for
what
a
are y'all
fact.
rocking? What are you rocking, Eric?
I think the Miles Murphy. That's what I'm gonna do.
No, I'm gonna rock the Jamar Chase,
There you go. That's
and then our buddy Ethan that we're going with, he's gonna rock an Evan McPherson. So
You got all sides.
yeah. Hell yeah, boys.
Do you think he'll be a healthy scratch, or do you think they'll probably let him suit up DeMar for the game?
It's the
Since it's
NFL. I
like-
think
since
it's just gonna be who's playing the best.
You think so?
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
yeah.
think since
I think it's the NFL. I think
And they're
it's,
just since obviously just returning anyway.
yeah. I mean, I think it's just whoever's playing the best is gonna play. I mean, that's just how it always is in the NFL.
yeah,
Yeah.
Not to go backwards, but Minka, it's a couple weeks injury.
did we talk about the Panthers and
Not yet.
Not yet.
D Adams? Okay, I didn't know where we were at.
No,
we were
we
actually
really-
like right there.
We really only talked about the Kirk torn Achilles. We went into like Dobbs, like if he's gonna do well, and then we talked about Will.
Yeah,
Levis.
sorry, I had to go.
Oh, we did.
Where we film at, there was a couple big noises, so I had to go check those out real quick.
So
Panthers got their first win against Houston. I was the only one to pick the Panthers on Pick'em, just
Yeah,
like
you
I
had-
was the only one to pick the Jets versus the Eagles. What I go? 13-2 this week.
What's the overall standings?
Oh, okay, Gary.
there were 16 games, so there was no buys. So you either went 13-3.
You
or
went
14.
14
14-2,
and 2.
14-2,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's impressive.
That's it.
It's a good week.
That's good. What's the? I think it's probably the best week anybody's had, right? Or did you go 15 and 1 week?
Nah, I don't think.
I think 14
I
and
think,
2.
but I think you've gone.
I think 14 and 2 is the best I've gone.
That you've gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Cause I thought you had like a 14-2 week or
I-
something like that.
Yeah, I haven't gone. I haven't only missed one before. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But it was
definitely-
a battle of the quarterbacks,
Yeah.
like the drafted quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean they're friends too.
Stroud and Bryce. I took the Texans honestly because I thought the D'Amico Ryan's defense would probably get to
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
Bryce more. And
I don't know why, but there's something just telling me Panthers get their
Was
first
it in
win.
Carolina or was it in Houston?
It was in Carolina.
No.
There's something was just telling me.
Yeah. No.
I'm so glad I drafted Thielen in fantasy.
Yeah, dude, he is a PPR killer right now.
Dude.
True number one.
Dude, I mean, and Bryce Young's final. I mean, he's hitting him now. Like, because when he was out and Dalton was in, that's kind of when Thielen started picking it up. He came back in and he's still been balling for him. Good to see the Panthers get their first win, but I mean,
The
they're
Bears,
they're still gonna
Bears
be.
are mad.
Nah,
Bears fans?
they're still going to be a top 2 pick.
What do you mean, nah? Oh, yeah, I guess they still will be.
Panthers are still going to be a top 3 pick at best.
What do we think? Talking about, moving on from that real quick. Talking about Devontae Adams, he was visually frustrated. Monday night.
I mean, I would be pretty upset too.
What do you try to get your way out of there next year, or do you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they just fired Josh McDaniels.
Well, and
So
They
do you-
also just benched Jimmy G.
So, like, do you sit and
Did
wait?
they?
If you're Devontae Adams, do you wait and see what they do next year,
I
or
think,
do you
No,
just
bro,
try to get
you're-
out?
you're
I think
trying
there's
to get
I
out.
think there's a couple factors. I mean, he came there to play with DC.
Yeah,
Mhm.
He's gone. They didn't re-sign Josh Jacobs for a long-term deal.
They only signed him for a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
he'll be gone.
they
He
just
gets
fired their
that.
coach and GM. I mean, he's probably looking at it like, okay, I came here to try to compete, and now we're in a full rebuild.
Yeah, he's like, he wanted to.
I don't-
He wanted to come here and win because they just made the playoffs
Yeah.
before he came. So he thought what they should have done. What me and Eric said, they should have kept. I forget what his name was. The head coach that took over.
Oh, yeah.
I
can't think of his name.
Rich
Pistachio.
Pistachio, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He deserved that head coaching
The
job.
one where they
He did
played us in
really
the
good.
playoffs.
Yeah,
No, he was a
Right?
great coach. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
we beat him in the playoffs, and that was a close game.
That was a great game.
Yeah, it
That was a close
I was
game.
sweating.
I mean,
He was a really good
they were inside
coach.
the 15. Pratt had to get that pick. On
He
the
made
side.
all the good moves to get his players ready and good game time situations.
I think you're kind of right. I think after that moment is kind of when they kind of took that little bit of a downfall because I mean,
Yeah.
McDaniels and Carr were already butting heads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they shipped him out. Obviously, it didn't work out.
And like you said, Deontay, he came in thinking,
Play with
to
DC,
compete.
and they had just got off the playoff, came out.
And
of the
now it's
playoffs,
like it's not even like he came into like a middle of a rebuild. It's like he was here, and then it turned into a complete rebuild.
Yeah. Well, but then it's weird because they didn't deal Jacobs, Crosby, or him at
Yeah.
all in the trade deadline, but yet they fired their GM and coach. So hopefully they're just trying to maybe rebuild there, but they got to figure out quarterback too.
Well, it seems like now they're probably going to tank.
Yeah.
At this
it's
point,
kinda,
And
I,
I'm-
th-
feel
I
like you
think
have
whatever
to.
GM comes in is going to know that DA probably wants out. So unless he can talk
They
him
ne-
into, if they get one of the
unless
first
you
couple picks, that's
get him
well,
heavily involved
uh,
in the plans for the future of
that's
this
what I'm saying,
team.
like,
they were just saying on the Pat McAfee show. It's an interim, obviously, head coach. It's from within. He's a former player. Can't
yeah,
think of his
he
name
was-
right now.
He was a defensive guy.
So they were saying that that's probably what Vegas needs is a former player to kind of bring that culture in. I mean, look at all the coaches
Yeah.
now who the newer coaches who are former players. They have immediate impact right away, just from that connection of what they want to do. But I don't know. The Raiders need a lot of help though. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
They definitely do.
That's the thing with them is they have to completely. I mean, their offensive line's pretty bad. They don't have a quarterback for next year or years forward, so they're going to have to draft one first round. So
I could
do
see.
you
I
think?
could see them trading up
And who do they try to get?
out of the quarterback class.
Yeah,
I mean,
I said I feel like Bo Nix would be the best fit.
it depends on A, where they're at in the draft when the season's over, and B, who else is in the top 5 that they would want to move up for.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're probably going to, I mean, they have 3 wins right now. And they're a competitive team. I would say, they're probably going to win 2 to 3 more games.
Yeah.
So they were not going to get a top 3 pick, top 4 pick. So you're out on Caleb Williams. You think Bo Nix is the next QB off the shelf?
Yeah.
Where do you think he goes, though?
This is a heavy QB class. That's good.
My favorite quarterback right now
Michael?
from this QB class is Michael. It's just because you watch him play. He's a super quick release for a left-handed quarterback.
is.
He's super accurate.
He's big.
He's big. He's really smart. He knows what to do with the
And-
ball.
Yeah. He balled at Indiana before he got hurt.
Yeah, he was good with Indiana. But Caleb Williams this year, I don't know what it is, but it seems like
I'm
he's
tired of betting on USC, man.
Dude, I put them on the no bet list.
Their defense is horrible.
I will take Caleb Williams' passing yards and Marshawn Lloyd's rushing yards. That's all I will touch from that team.
Yeah, their defense
I will
is
not touch
horrible.
their spread, and I will not touch their money line.
Nope.
Dude, that game had me nervous. 50-49.
Yeah, we were sweating that one out because we had USC.
Yeah, that's
But Caleb Williams had 369 passing yards.
Yep.
I mean, he's really talented, but
I don't know.
Does
what
he
it
make
is
the
either.
play at the end of the game? Which he's so talented to where it's like
But their defense is so
it's
bad,
worth
though.
it, man.
USC's defense is horrible.
It's so bad. I can't even watch the games. I just turn it off.
Yeah,
Like their defense is, it's like Colorado. I mean, me and Eric had like an 2-hour conversation last night about the Bearcat situation and like Colorado and like college, standings and all that. And
all these
Bearcats
teams
made
jumping
awful high.
conferences.
yeah, all these teams jumping. We talked about that last night, and you look at USC's defense, like how they're really bad. And they're bad when Colorado put up 40-something points on them.
Yeah.
And Colorado's offensive line is god awful, probably worst in college football.
It is the worst in college football. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
like
sure.
it's pretty bad. And USC still allowed that many points to them
Yep.
because they couldn't pressure Shadur, so they just could drop back and throw.
Yeah, if you don't get any pressure on college football, you're gonna get diced.
Yeah, I can't wait until we start up our college football show.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
We're all starting to love college football a whole lot more as we get older, and I think we're gonna have a really fun time with that. I could talk college football all day now.
It's fun because you see now, especially we're older, like we see those guys transition to the NFL and like watching them
That's
play
the
in NFL
best
too. Yeah.
part, dude.
Like,
It is the best.
It's cool to see them come from college to the NFL. It
Eric
really
and I
is.
watched every LSU game that 2019 year.
Yeah.
We watched almost every single LSU game. Not every single. The beginning of the year, me and Eric were all Justin Herbert. It was Justin Herbert because Joe Burrow wasn't. At the beginning of the year, he was projected a 5th and 6th round pick.
Yeah.
And then, you start hearing about this Joe Burrow guy, and you're like, wow. Then you start watching him, and you're like, dude, this guy's going to. And then we're sitting over here praying on the Bengals' downfall. We're like, first overall pick, come on.
Yep.
Just need to clinch it, and you're good.
Which that was really fun to watch, LSU make their run in college football
Yeah,
playoffs.
especially because the Bengals weren't good that year. So
Yeah,
it
Bengals
gave Bengals fans hope. Like, and I feel like it's probably that kind of struck the whole thing of like liking college football. Like when your team isn't good, you're obviously watching more college football.
I think that was like my first year actually really watching college football. In these last 3-4
Yeah,
years, I've really been
like,
paying
you're like,
attention
okay,
to
I'm
it.
gonna have a top 3 pick. I probably want to see who it's gonna be. Like,
And this year, I've really brought it my range of watching other teams.
yeah, just
Where
just
the
to
last
watch it.
two years, I was just watching strictly Bearcats, and that was it. Now this year, I'm kind of watching Colorado and USC a lot more. Same as like Washington. Probably because I'm betting on them also. But
That's
It's hard to
that's
watch
it
the
too.
Bearcats,
Yeah.
bro.
oh, dude,
They're not good.
it's
Well, the coaching just sucks.
me and Eric had a conversation. I don't want to talk about it.
Made the wrong hire.
Dude, we had a very
made
long
the wrong
conversation
hire.
about Satterfield last night.
I bet you we could go
Don't even
into
say that name.
We could go into a huge what if.
You
What
shouldn't
if-
even bring it
What
up.
if Prime?
Don't even bring it up.
Well, that's the thing we discussed.
also talked about
We
it.
discussed
What
that
if.
Prime would have came to UC.
I mean, you automatically bring it. He's brought in
Bring
$90
this-
million of revenue.
you bring in money, you bring in recruits, you bring it in.
He would have brought Shadur and Travis Hunter.
That's the big thing right there. Shadur and Travis Hunter.
Imagine
Our
Tra-
offensive line is automatically better. Our,
Imagine
our
Travis Hunter.
defensive line is significantly better than Colorado's defensive line. Our secondary is automatically
It was just
better.
a better team to come into. I mean, you're coming off a
better program.
You're coming off against a team who's been in the top 5 the last 7 years.
Yeah, how many games did Colorado win last year?
One or
One or
two?
two?
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought they won 0.
Yeah,
It might have been 0.
It was 0 or 1 or 2. I know it wasn't more than that.
Like, and I get it. I mean, UC wanted a more proven guy, but it's like they just wanted the they just didn't want to be
It's
they just
because-
didn't want
it's
to buff
because-
on it.
It's because Satterfield can work the NIL deals. I don't care
He's
about
still
that.
a sucky coach.
Yeah, he's still a bad
Okay,
coach.
you say that, but then how much has he brought into UC? 'Cause
Almost
I
nothing.
I guarantee
Almost
you,
nothing.
it's not even close to what Dion's brought
And
in.
we paid how many, $6 million or something like that?
Like all that.
We paid $6 million to get his buyout
Dude.
contract from Louisville. We didn't even wait till he got fired.
Dude, look at all the freaking
Should've.
merch that Colorado has sold, like all the Shadur jerseys, all the Prime, like we gotta play us, like all that kind of stuff. That would have been UC colors. Would have been
And
UC.
I feel like,
would have
I feel
been.
like if we would have given him a fair shot for the head coaching job, I think he would have taken it.
He loves Cincinnati.
Just because he talked about how much he loves the city of Cincinnati. And he knows that UC was an up-and-coming program that Fickle built from the
Well, and
ground
it's
up
got,
almost.
it's got some solid pros in the league right now.
Yeah. I mean, you look at their defensive tackle right now, the Godfather. That dude is unbelievable. Me and Eric was saying last night how he hopes we take him second round.
I mean, you're gonna need him with if Reader
The
was
walks,
to leave.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying
I
that
don't
if
want
Reader
him to.
if Reader doesn't get re-signed, and
I
all
think they
that,
try to
and
bring
all-
him back.
But you're signed for like 2-3 years.
Mhm.
You get him.
that guy's gonna be a stud. He's
He's
gonna be a stud.
Yeah, he's able to learn from him, and now your D line's just better.
I mean, like it's like our problem is depth. Like the Bears traded for Montez Sweat. 49ers traded for Chase Young.
Another weird move though.
That was a horrible trade.
Yeah, because they don't even know if they're going to re-sign him.
That's my big thing.
Say you're getting them in a tanking year where you're just
You almost have to. If you don't re-sign him this year, you just gave your pick away.
yeah
I mean, you literally just gave your pick away
for nothing.
because they're not. I mean, I know sweating's not like tanking's not real, whatever, but I guess they're going to be more competitive on the defensive side of the ball with him, just because he's obviously
That was my
a
only
better
thought
player.
Was maybe they go ahead and if they think they can re-sign him. If
He's worth that pick then,
yeah, then they have the defense kind of more beefed up, and then they can focus on other things in free agency and the draft.
Yeah.
But still, I don't think he'll want to re-sign. I don't
Yeah.
know why. He's seen and probably heard about a
He's
bunch
probably-
of stuff
honestly-
going down here the last couple of years.
And he gets a
It's just like,
he's going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
No contract obligations. Like he's going to have his.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm looking through a group chat right now, trying to find when Colton sent that Montez Sweat trade, because we had a pretty lengthy
it was
discussion
one
in
of
our
the, it
group
was
chat
one of the first ones.
yeah.
because
it
we
was
were
like one of the first
because
big trades.
Gary brought up the point of that's a wasted pick,
Yeah, if you don't sign him.
and they're not going to re-sign him.
Yeah.
And he already said he's like not focused on that extension talks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why would you be? He's about to go.
And
he's
that's
about
like
to go
the
somewhere.
opposite of what Pohl said. Pohl says we're like working on extending you, and then he like came out himself and said like I'm not focused on it, extension talks.
The Bears are such a confusing team right now.
I'm so glad we're not Bears fans.
That would
I'm gonna be honest. I'm
brutal.
a Bagnet guy.
Bagent.
Bagnet.
Bagent?
What did you say? It's
Bagent. Bagnet. I
Bagent?
don't know. I've heard people pronounce it differently.
I mean,
Bagent.
he's fun. He's an athlete.
I
but
like him. I feel like he has
He's-
potential.
He's not bad.
Trade
He's
Fields,
really
see what
not.
you
I
can get
think
for him.
I think he has the natural talent
That seems
to
like
be
the
a
Poles
really
thing
good
if they-
back. I'm not
yeah.
saying starter. I'm not saying he's going to be
Yeah,
a
but-
good starter.
They're
he could
gonna-
definitely be in the league a while though.
Yeah, I feel like he could
as
be
a
a
guy-
really good backup
Yeah, like-
for any team. I would love him as our backup, if I had to be honest.
Like a Taylor Heineke.
That dude would have had a
Taking
60-yard.
over
He got the start this week.
Yeah.
He's starting.
I picked him up in fantasy.
He would have had a huge touchdown pass that Bears receiver didn't drop it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has a lot of arm strength.
I know he threw 2 picks, but wasn't one like at the end.
Yeah, and he threw one really bad pick.
Yeah.
Threw-
Across his body.
it,
Yeah,
was, it was a really bad pick. So I mean, you're gonna have those.
it does bring up the question like if Fields is healthy, does he start? I think they still start Fields if
Oh,
he's
yeah.
healthy.
Oh,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
still their guy.
They're not gonna give up on Fields.
But it does kind of now. It's like okay, now you have a measuring stick now of your backup behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Like his leash just got like you know what I'm saying like
But like if you are the Bears, like what I feel like their GM and their head coaching staff have a really hard decision
yeah
for this year.
absolutely. Because
Like,
if you're gonna have a top 2 pick, it's like
They could take like a big.
there's a couple generational quarterbacks in this class.
Yeah.
That
Are
can
you gonna
that
ride
can
with
be.
Fields and take like a defensive guy and then like Marvin Harrison? Or are
if
gonna
you
take,
ride with
like, a-
Fields this draft though, and he busts and he's not the guy, you muffed it.
But there's other teams that need quarterbacks too. Which one of them would even trade for Fields instead of trying to get one in the draft?
Well, the Bears thing that helps them is they have the Panthers pick.
Yeah.
So if the Panthers say they are the worst team in the league and they get that first pick, that's the Bears, and then the Bears have a top 5 pick. That bundle right there. I mean, you could go. You know what I mean?
Marvin Harrison.
There's a lot of QBs in this draft class too.
Yeah,
They could just
that's
take
what I'm
one.
saying.
Well,
Like
that's
rounds
another-
3 through 5,
Yeah.
and then if
That's
Justin's
another-
not
That's
it,
another negative
we're
for
like, all right,
Justin
it's
though,
time for
because
move
I'm saying
on,
like the
Justin.
Raiders or like the Cardinals or
Like,
The
is he better
Vikings-
than a rookie coming up?
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, would you rather take a chance on Justin Fields or take a chance on a premier
Like,
quarterback?
Like,
in
what's
the-
his trade value?
Yeah, it's really what he's going to bring to the table. Which when he starts playing again, he's going to have to.
he's got something
He's going to have to
prove.
play
He's gotta
to
prove it.
showcase himself.
I hope he comes out on like a revenge tour because he looked insane. He was insane at Ohio State.
Oh yeah,
he was insane.
He's super talented and a super
He'll
good
have his
guy.
games when
It's
it's
just-
just a part. I think they tried to take him away from using part of his legs as his game, and then making him strictly a passer. And part of his
You
game,
have to
once
mix
get
it
him
both.
going,
You have to mix
once he
both.
gets going with running, then people are gonna think he's running. So the linebackers are kind of.
It's more of like it's
It
kind of what
opens
he
up
does.
That's what makes Lamar really dangerous is when they can mix in both
Yes.
his
and he's
legs
looked good this year.
and
They
his
just got to figure out how to
passing.
mix. But I mean, he's had probably how many? I don't know about their offense coordinator or anything, but it just seems like they're very unstable. So you need to get him some stability somewhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe it might be him, but I'm a Fields guy, so
Yeah.
I like Justin Fields. I think
I'm rooting for him.
I'll root for Justin Fields. I like Ohio State a little bit, so. But if I'm like the Vikings or Raiders, I'm taking a chance on Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Like, I'm taking a chance on one of them over Justin Fields.
Oh yeah.
Me personally, that's what I'm doing. Just because I like their potential a whole lot more than I like Justin Fields' potential. But it's also where do you fall in the draft. Now the Vikings, they're in a prime position to get any quarterback they want. They're probably going to lose out.
I mean,
Their defense is bottom of the league.
I mean,
They don't-
and Kirk's been the reason
Kirk was the reason why they were afloat.
Bro, I could see Kirk going to the Raiders.
if they do lose out and they get the top pick, Caleb Williams or Justin Jefferson, I think
They
Jefferson,
still have to re-sign Justin.
I was just, I think he would stay
if they got a top.
if they got a young quarterback with them. I do.
Yeah.
What quarterback would fit best for them?
Caleb Williams.
Would they get that pick though?
The first pick, probably not. I think the first pick's either going to go to Arizona or Carolina, in my opinion.
Do you think Arizona goes?
But the thing is, though, I mean, if Minnesota only has 3 wins, so
I mean, it's still a little early. Like we still have 7.
There's
8
a lot of weeks left. So Arizona, if Kyler comes back, they could probably win a couple games.
That's
I
another
feel
part
like
with
they're trying to
Arizona. What do they do with
postpone.
Kyler?
I think they're trying to.
I think they want
postpone 'cause
Kyler.
Aren't they starting Tune this week?
Yeah, they are.
I think they want.
Well,
Kyler
because they
as
traded
their-
Dobbs. So
Yeah, but they had said even when Dobbs was on the team, they said Dobbs was
They
on
wa-
the start.
they wanna
were
make-
starting Kyler.
They
want
want to make him fully. They want to make sure Kyler's like 100%.
They were starting Tune or Kyler this week.
yeah, I don't think
They weren't
Kyler's
starting
ready
Dobbs.
yet.
Well, and why bring him
I
back
think
if you're
if
1-7?
Arizona, I'm done with Kyler Murray.
You,
know, I
you
don't
almost
think
have
you're
to be.
ready.
I don't think
you almost
I-
have to be.
You do?
I think it's time.
I think
I
you
don't really
almost.
think it's him.
I think you just go ahead and give
He's done.
Gannon a new quarterback, let him pick his guy. I mean,
That,
he's a
that's
defensive
the
guy,
thing.
you're
It's a
gonna
new
have to.
guy. You brought different system.
Yeah.
but, like you just drafted Paris Johnson. Like just get get rid of Kyler, bring in a new guy, new face.
And the thing, there's not any top tier offensive linemen in the draft this year in the first couple picks. So it's not like they can just draft and their offensive line is pretty
A
bad.
lot of skill position players in
And
this
then
draft,
for
though.
some reason, I see Kyler in a Falcons uniform.
I could see it.
Or Raiders.
For some reason, they've been trying to go
Yeah,
after like
the
those
Raiders
mobile guys.
Kyler could fit with the Raiders.
Kyler can kind of really fit anywhere, because I mean he's kind of just like a plug and play. I mean he's out of the pocket scrambling kind of quarterback, kind of can fit really wherever. I mean you're not going to want to put him with a traditional offense, but
That's the thing you have to think of, like the scheme.
It seems like we're reaching the point to where there's too many good. There's more
That's-
good
I think
quarterbacks.
Me and Gary bring this
Dude.
up every once.
There's
in a
more
while.
good
It's like-
quarterbacks than there are teams.
But then we bring
Yeah.
up like
like Jameis Winston is a backup right now. That's kind of crazy.
he could start over Dobbs. They should have.
Vikings. If the Vikings, that shows me the Vikings weren't competing right
Yeah,
there because
yeah.
they should have done everything they could to get Jameis
I think there
Winston.
was like things that they were in talks. Who knows how true that was? But if that was true, then you should have went and got Jameis.
Because Justin Jefferson ain't done for the
the
year.
NFC is so wide open. Yeah, the NFC is so wide open. With Jameis, you at least have more of a chance of winning than Dobbs. Like
Yeah,
Dobbs,
Dobbs, he
what's
doesn't
the
offer.
Cardinals record. Like
One
they
and
were,
s-
they
one
were
and six.
they're in games, but they
Well, I
end
mean,
up
I don't
losing.
blame him for being 1-6.
No, it's not him.
Oh no,
The
yeah.
team's horrible.
No, he's just saying like he gets why they traded him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dobbs. I think he'll win a couple games in Minnesota.
Yeah, but
I
if
think
you go
Winston
get the
could've done more,
Winston, yeah, then
but-
you could. The NFC is so
Winston's a
wide open.
playoff quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
He's the
so
type
wide
of guy you
open.
can take it to the playoffs.
He's got a 30-for-30 season.
Yeah.
That's fair. Did they win the division?
Well,
that
that was before he got LASIK.
That was forgot.
that is true.
I blame it on his eyesight. It's before he got LASIK.
Man,
Because what they're 4-4. They started off like 1-3, like us or something.
Vikings
Yeah.
are they? I thought they were like 3 and.
Or are they 3-5?
Thought they had 3 wins. I mean, they might have 4, but I thought they had 3.
Well, they just beat the Packers. Well, now the Packers.
beat the
You look at the
Packers.
Packers. Do they need a quarterback?
I know. Nah, they'll give Jordan another year.
I think
They have to.
I think they'll give him another year.
They have to. They
Because
signed
they
him.
don't want to be like, wow, we
Yeah,
drafted this guy
4-4.
second round, and we were way wrong. They'll be like, we have to give it one more year.
They didn't draft him second round.
First round.
Yep, he was a first round pick.
Could
The
have
end
had
of the
T.
first
Because
round.
I remember
And then T.
Yeah.
Higgins went right after.
Yeah,
him.
T. Higgins because that should have been their pick. If they would have drafted T. Higgins, they
Higgins.
would have They would have beat the Buccaneers in the NFC
Yeah,
Championship.
they treated Rodgers so bad. They're never giving him a good
That was
receiver.
I don't know
Packers
how-
fan, bro. Oh my
Since
God.
Rodgers joined the Packers, they didn't draft a single offensive
Receiver.
player in the first round. I don't think.
And then they got Watson.
Yeah.
Like once he left.
Yeah, some of there's like a board. It's like some of the players they missed on. It was like it's just crazy.
A lot of players.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem, I don't know, the problem with drafting is you don't know what these players are going to turn out to be.
Well, and you draft a lot of time. You draft for need.
You say, I mean, yeah, but why did Jalen Reagor get drafted before Justin Jefferson? You know what I mean?
People see different things on tape and when they
Well,
watch-
yeah.
But even look at the tape, Justin Jefferson was the number one receiver in that draft class.
Yeah, but people look
100%.
for different things, and I agree. But I don't know. There's certain GMs and certain
And,
people that
the-
And I
I
think
think
that's
the
a
only-
fireable offense.
I think the only argument, literally the only argument you can make is that, and it's kind of even a stupid argument to say, is that Jamar Chase was drawing the number one corner. But even then, it's like,
Even
did
then-
you watch LSU? Did you watch the dude in college?
Then again, Jamar and
They both were insane.
Jefferson both had
Well, that's what I'm saying.
over 1,000 yards.
I'm just trying to get in the mind of the guy who said, "Let's draft Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson."
And you can say, I mean, Jamar was the X receiver on the LSU team, but Justin Jefferson Justin Jefferson still had to go against Patrick Surtain.
Oh yeah, no,
And-
I was just kind of saying playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I mean, they both had.
What school did Reagor go to?
Reagor?
TCU.
TCU?
Yeah, let's say TCU. You take you take the guy out of TCU over the guy who's in SEC, balled out at OSU, and played against
Yeah,
way
which-
better competition and shit.
They're saying Joe Burrow made him look good. It's the only reason.
It's
Only-
so
only way
hard.
they
It's
could've
such a
said it.
hard argument now that I'm thinking about. I would fire my GM so quickly. I
Dude,
remember
after his rookie year. He's
I
like, he has
remember
1,400
I remember
yards.
watching Mike Zimmer's reaction to the Eagles taking Jalen Reagor. He was like shocked, and then they hurried up and sent that Justin Jefferson pick in.
They were laughing at him.
Yeah, they were. And that's nothing against Jalen. I mean, obviously, he was good enough to get compared
And
to.
he's playing decent right now too. He's having a
Yeah.
decent comeback year. But he's not.
He's not what people thought he would be.
Well, he's not.
I thought he'd be better than what he is.
He's
now.
not Justin Jefferson.
Nowhere close.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson was ranked the second best player in the NFL this year. So it's a tough comparison.
Until Tyreek goes for 2K.
Tyreek Hill will probably be ranked first or second this year for NFL Top 100.
Definitely could see him going for 2,000 yards. That'd be wild.
Easy.
Said it. He's definitely going for it.
Yeah, that's his goal. He said he
I
went.
had that future too.
I mean, AJ Brown's going off too, though. I mean,
AJ Brown's an alien.
it's just weird. A lot of
It's like every
big
week I
numbers.
think about taking him 110 plus for receiving yards. So I'm like, nah, this is the
This
week.
is the week he's gonna.
This is the
end.
week he's gonna slump down.
Yeah.
Nope. Or it's like the Christian McCaffrey anytime
Touchdown.
touchdown. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'm like, no, this is probably the week that he doesn't get it. Gets it.
Every time.
So this week I think I'm just gonna put a parlay together of AJ Brown 110 plus.
And Christian McCaffrey.
Christian
Teddy.
McCaffrey
Well, not this
touchdown.
week because the 49ers are on a bye. So next week I'll put it together.
You gotta find another prop.
It's just kind of fun like that. We didn't even talk about the Cowboys' dominance versus the Rams,
Ah,
which helped our three-legger, ladder hit. That game wasn't even close from the start. I don't think the Rams got off the plane.
dude, CeeDee Lamb had 120 and 2 tutties at half. I mean,
Helped me beat Aiden in fantasy this week. I really appreciate it.
and they weren't even running the ball. I mean, they were just throwing all over him.
Yeah.
Dak.
CeeDee
looked
Lamb
good,
was
man.
wide open about every time.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even a game. Really surprising for a McVay team to get blown out like that too. I was kind of like, oh.
The Rams are another team where you're like, do they take quarterback or the earliest they possibly can? I don't know what their draft situation looks
I
like
don't.
with
Yeah,
picks.
say what picks they got.
Nah, they believe in Stetson. Once Stafford's time's up, Stetson's
Is
getting the
Stetson
call.
back with the team?
I
Stetson
don't know.
season.
I'm just making that up.
So I know Stetson had that
Probably
family
not.
Yeah, he, like,
issue.
walked
Man,
Oh, my bad.
man went to the elderly community.
We're making fun of somebody who might be going through something.
I'm just kidding. It just
I know.
Oh man!
just because he was old in college. You know, a whole joke that he was
I
like
know,
27.
my bad.
I was like Bo Nix now, or NIU's quarterback
NIU,
last night.
7 years.
Seventh year.
Seventh year, they're like seventh year quarterback. I'm like, dude, graduate.
Atkins down 17, by the way, for us.
Yeah, and Kent State just got the ball back.
Putting a bounty on the dude's head.
That's another ladder, Colton, that we failed. So I have no money now on
Shout out
in
Colton.
FanDuel.
Shout out Colton.
Thanks, guys.
What are you guys' week 9 games of the week?
Mine is the Chargers at the Jets.
Good
Like, we
offense.
already had picked the game, so don't think this is like the best game. This was like one of the best ones that was
Good
left
defense
after
versus
what-
great offense.
Yeah, I think the Chargers defense also isn't very good. If the Jets, maybe Zach Wilson can have a decent game, or Brees Hall has a crazy game, and it can keep them in. I think the Jets defense might be able to stop if Sauce and them play the way they should to hold that game to be a close game, and maybe the Jets pull something out again.
Who you got in that one? Live pick. Who is it?
It's a lot of pressure. You have to put
Chargers.
this
Chargers.
on your pick'em sheet, by the way.
He picked Chargers. All right. My game of the week: Bills at Bengals, hometown team. Probably gonna hit the over. You know, most primetime games don't, but I hope it does. I think it's gonna be explosive. I know the Bengals defense has been playing good, but just one of those games I feel like it's gonna be 34-31 type-ish game. Whoever has the ball last. But I'm taking the Bengals for sure. I would hope that we can shut the Bills out, but I just in my feeling it's gonna be a high-scoring game.
Also,
Yeah.
shout out to Eric for taking the Niners last week.
Oh yeah, don't think we forgot Eric.
You know, I had to take
They won. They won.
I had
so-
to take them, so the Bengals won. That's how it goes. But for my Week 9 game, took Cowboys-Eagles.
That's a really
It's gonna
good
be
one.
a
Eagles have shown that they can be beat. Washington should have beat them.
Washington
They
puts
had
up a
'em.
really
I
good
don't know
game
what the line
against
is,
them.
but I'm taking the Cowboys.
Washington should have beat them. I'm also taking the
Where they at?
Cowboys.
Lee in Philly,
I
or they
think
in
they're
Dallas?
Philly.
Yeah,
I think
they're
it's in Philly. Ooh, maybe Dak has a bad game.
I'll make my live pick right now. I'll take Philly.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
They're gonna make me eat my words, but I'm going with the boys.
Cowboys.
Am I the only one taking Philly this week?
Yep.
Where's the lone wolf mask?
Am I the only one taking Philly this week? Really?
Yeah.
I'll take
That
the
can't have
boys.
2 good games in a row.
I just think
We
that
know this.
Dallas
I
has
need
kinda
Pollard
something
to go
prove.
off.
Dallas kind of has something to prove, and the Phillies' defense hasn't really been.
What is
looking
that?
the way
Dallas
that
has had something to prove for the last 30 years.
It would be more likely for them to win this game and then get smacked in the
the
playoffs.
playoffs.
though.
Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, they'll probably, they'll get wild card division. Eagles will just roll them 40-7.
Happens every year with the Cowboys.
I just don't know who the Cowboys' corners are anymore, though, since Trayvon's out.
Gilmore
Oh, it's Stephon.
and what's his name?
And they still have Anthony Brown.
Yeah, but
Like
they have somebody
that,
else
but-
too. I can't think of his name.
My game of the week is Dolphins versus Chiefs at 9:30
Dude, I'm so mad at
a.m.
Drill.
Honestly, fire game.
Fire
I know,
game.
I wanted
I
to watch
don't know
that
who
game.
I'm gonna choose for my pick 'em.
I'm taking.
If I have to take
ooh.
my live pick right now, Dolphins.
I'm taking the Fins.
They're probably my pick right now.
I'm picking the Dolphins.
Oh,
It's a
man.
tough one. Just
I-
because I don't.
I think the Dolphins need to beat a good team. Like Mike McDaniel hasn't really beaten that like elite team yet. Like even last year,
He's yet to do it.
like they always get beat by the Bills.
Statement
like,
win.
Yeah, he just needs that win, and I think they just they get it done, man.
But does Patrick Mahomes drop 2 in a row like that? Especially coming off a loss to the Broncos, that's a tough loss.
And Broncos showed you how to beat them. Like, also have the Bengals.
Well,
didn't
the receivers
they
aren't-
didn't show how to beat
That's
them.
what I say. The Chiefs' weapons just aren't.
You
that
jam their
good,
receivers and you
besides
freaking
Kelsey.
just-
Yeah, Broncos defense is. I mean,
That's what I
they
said.
sucked
like, they-
against the Dolphins, but they've shown that hey, this is how you can beat Mahomes. Mahomes looks horrible. I didn't start him in fantasy.
He had the
that day.
flu.
Flu game.
He had the flu.
That's what they're saying.
Well, they said it.
He had
before-
IVs all
They
night.
they said it. They said it the day before the game even
Built-in
started.
excuse.
It was a built-in. They're like, well, Mahomes hasn't been feeling very well, or what else happened?
I
Like,
mean, they
something
dropped
else.
they dropped a game on the road to a division opponent. Like it's not really the end of the world. It's funny because they started playing like Taylor Swift, and then like
right after the game.
Like,
the
you know what I
speakers
mean?
blaring it.
I missed this. The side note: Burrow wearing gloves at practice today.
Yeah,
Is he really?
yeah,
it was cold out, man.
yeah. They said he might be wearing them from Monday or
Yeah.
Sunday night.
He does that. Then he takes them off if we're going on the field.
I don't know.
I was gonna say it's cold out,
It
man.
was just from the reporters.
If I see him Ben Roethlisberger it out there with two gloves,
Teddy two gloves.
Teddy two gloves out there, I will be pissed. I
Wow.
hate when quarterbacks wear gloves. I do.
Can't grip that ball.
I'm not a fan of quarterbacks wearing gloves. It just irks me. So I wasn't a big fan of Teddy Bridgewater. It just looks weird. I don't know. It just looks unnatural.
It does look weird. I agree. How do you throw with the glove on?
And it's probably because me personally, if I have a glove on, that ball's going to be the worst spiral of all time. It's just a duck. I can't get
Whenever
it.
we played flag, sometimes I wore it. Whenever I was cool, like back in the day.
Well,
Dude,
you're
I
not
can't
an NFL
wear.
QB, so.
Huh?
He said you're not an NFL QB, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Well, even when you played quarterback for a little bit in flag, you never wore a glove.
I did sometimes.
He would sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, Gary, when we run trick plays, Gary wore his glove because Gary was a receiver. How'd you do it? How'd you throw your glove on?
I didn't.
I did. He just ran it. He just ended up
All those are the days.
Oh, yep.
We're not gonna start reminiscing.
No.
But that was a good episode, boys.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up here. We'll catch you after Sunday night.
Hopefully after a dub.
Hopefully after a statement win against the Bills. We got to get our first win against the AFC team, and I think the Bills are the perfect opportunity to get it on Sunday Night Football, showing America who we are.
Yeah, keep it rolling.
Yep. All right, see you guys.
See ya.
See ya.